There is a company who creates chewing gum. And then there was a point where they think about targeting another audience without changing the product. In this lecture, it's not about how the chewing gum tastes. We stay on this top level to think about, hey, is there a target group, how to spend money, how to change the thing I use to get customers into my game, or the customers in your game to engage them. But first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Bjoern. I'm 36 years old. I'm head of games from Tivola, and I'm responsible for our whole strategy with the products and the partners, and so I have a good perspective of all these things and make this change from PCs to mobile, and all these things we will talk about. Tivola Publishing, we are based in Hamburg and we are very old. We are even older than Google. And we were well known in Germany for kids brands and educational games. But now, since 2 years, we are just focused on mobile. And we have a lot of cool games with animals. This is our niche to survive among the big players. Maybe you know Pet World, Dog Hotel, Cat Hotel, all these good brands. And in all, we got more than 35 million downloads. And this is quite good for our niche. First of all, we will talk about the mobile market, just a short overview. Then we go to how to target the audience. Then we come to the customer himself. And for sure, last but not least, the impact of all that. When we talk about the mobile market, and you see it in each lecture, we see that this is a very hard market. There are top companies, super companies like Supercell, which dominate the market very much, and that's since years. So no indie developer or even we as a small publisher had the chance to kick them out from the top 10. And another thing is that free-to-play is the most common and effective business model. So you have to understand that when you're making a game, when you publish a game. But there are also a few strengths of the mobile markets. There's a lot of revenue you could earn, and there will be even more year per year. Free-to-play is also a strength because that is so common that people will try out your game. And with that, ads are common. So when you implement ads, and we were on that stage where we think, oh, ads are a big mistake for our target audience, but ads are common. When you have a free-to-play game with ads, it's totally okay. It is not really disturbing because it's normal. And on mobile, everything is trackable. Even with free tools or your own tools, you can track everything, and then you can use these informations to adjust your game or even update it. It is totally different to retail. So when you take a look at the right picture, it's Catapult, one of our smallest games, which were created in 4 weeks. It's just tossing cats. Very easy. So there are smaller development budgets to try out things, to adjust things. And when we summarize all that, we see there are benefits for us. As I said, the free-to-play gives the customer the chance to try out your game, so there is no barrier before he comes into your game. When he's interested in it, he plays it, he tries out. And we see it on the indie area when you're going around. Creative game design could be better than AAA. So this Catapult thing went very well, went very viral, instead of one of our most costful game. And with all these mobile devices, which even grows up year by year, nearly everyone is a potential customer, even your grandma, for example. And so there are endless niches, all hobbies, which are outside games like fishing or canoeing or anything else could be a niche for you, for your product. So now let's come to the point how to target your audience. This is one sentence from an economy book, and it was published even 5.5 years ago. And this is how the mobile market looks like. You can't afford everyone. So just don't think about a shotgun. I'd like to target everyone. Everyone which has a mobile device fits in my game. That's not really wide. So try to sniper someone out. Try to make a niche. Like us, we focus now on animal games. We tried out different games. We tried out match 3 games, hidden object games, but our niche are now animal games. So focused on that, because you need a niche market in the mobile market to survive among all these big players. And it's a no-brainer. This is the most important thing. But how to target the audience? When we go back to retail, it was relatively easy. You go into a shop and you see these boxes, these box titles, and you could convince the audience just by the presentation or the design, even the age rating. Or there is a special place for kids games, for example, for educational games, for horse games. So when you take a look at the picture, you see that there are 3 games for adults and 3 games for kids. And it's easy for you to just realize what games are for what audience. And even if City Skylines is with an age rating of 0, you see, oh, this is target an older audience. But how is that on the mobile market? On the mobile market, and we are now on the meta level, you just go into the App Store and see the top page, the highlights. You just see the icon, maybe realize the title. But when you see all these icons, you won't realize what kind of game should that be. When you are interested in cute dogs, for example, you will try out the upper left. When you like candy, maybe you try out Candy Crush. When you like chess, you just click it, try it out when it's free to play. So the age rating, there is an age rating, but who really knows that, or which customer uses that? Even the categories. When you get featured by Apple, for example, on the top page, and later on one on the categories, there was a huge difference between that. So can you really convince people with your icon, a specific target group? This is one important thing I have to say before we go further. When I talk about this sniper thing, choose a target group, make a decision. This means not that you exclude people. When you said, okay, I make a fishing game for fish fans, you are not including people who are also like horses, or who just has a grandma who likes fish, or whatever, or just see it on the front page, hey, nice icon, I will try that. You are not focusing on that, and they are playing your games, but you are not excluding it. This is very important for mobile. So one of our examples, we had 2 games on PC, Chess and Mate and Pet World. These are the boxes. When you go into a shop and look for a game, even if you like chess, you won't choose the left one because you are afraid of, oh, it's a kid's educational game, not for me as an adult. Or on the right side, no one of us would buy such a game. So we go a step back, think about all these meta things, and created that icon. So everyone who likes chess presses on that button and goes further. And I just have the chance to convince him that I have a good product. And in pet world, the same. When you like pets, cats, especially cats, you will try out that game or even look on the shop side. But how does the customer realize that, how he comes into the game? So in mobile, it's a little bit different than on retail. Customers install your game or try it out by recommendations. When they're looking for a game, they type in keywords, for example, cats, pets, dogs, and it's totally equal if it's a kid's game or an adult game or whatever. Even it's a hardcore game, maybe they try out a hardcore cat game. Or it's a title. When they're looking for a fish game, they will look for fish game. And when it's good reviews, that is a no-brainer. You need a good product for sure to convince him in the end. You need to have good reviews. But the most important thing is customers try out. So let's get back to our example, Pet World. That are the actually statistic of Pet World. It's not just for kids. It's not even just for females. Yeah, there are quite a lot of females who love this game, but there are also men. And when you take a look at the age, you see that all ages more or less play that game. So it is your decision or our decision who to target, who to spend money on when I make a Facebook campaign. For which audience from all these ages, from male or female, I optimize my game for. For kids, so it must be very easy. For hardcore gamer, so it must be very hard and complex with a lot of content. So now we come to the point, who is the right audience for me? And when you take a look to all these lectures, you see that monetization is still growing. It's the most important thing in free-to-play. So the right audience for me is a paying user. It's totally equal if it's played by kids or by grandmas. When they don't spend money in my game, it's totally cool that they give me good reviews, that they talk about my game. But when I spend money, I like to target the paying user. So your challenge in all these things is to find out who is your paying user. And for that, check media, check the press. So coming back to the example with the fish game, check the press who invests much money in fishes outside games. It will be the same audience who will spend a lot of money in your games. And when you already have a few games, just check the data or optimize the tracking to understand how they behave, to optimize the game exactly for them. And when you lose a few kids, for example, it's totally okay, as long as your paying users are totally satisfied and not the whole game is going down. And you can set up campaigns via Facebook, target different interests, and see with a tracking tool like Adjust how they behave in the end. So you could buy traffic very easy, but the quality is the most important thing on that. So in our example, when you take a look at the purchases, our target group are between 18 and 25. Not kids and even not parents. Okay, when you talk about kids, it said, okay, you can't really track them. Maybe it's the device of the parents. But when you see that, you will realize that that couldn't be the parents. And even if that are the parents giving the game to the kids, they would be older than 25, mostly. So what's the impact of all that? When we realized what are our target group, our target audience, we begin to optimize the design, the features. We make it a little bit harder, more complex. We think about the tutorial and not testing, give it to kids testing that game as before. We just give it adult people, adult females. And we ask them, what features do you like to have? What do you need? Even with the whole community management, all the social media is made for them and not for all others. So even the marketing campaign, the money I have is spent on that target group. And one of the most important parts when you begin with that optimization, stay in your niche. As I said, we tried it out. We think, okay, we understand we have females and adult females like hidden object games. So we develop a hidden object game and it won't work. Because it's not our experience, it's not our customer base, even it's, okay, gender, age is similar, but it's not our niche. So be in your niche, strengthens your position, make more of it, even if it's perhaps a little bit boring, but you could, there's so much thing you can expand in your niche when you understand your target audience. Create products, create brands, and make game by game a better rating. For us, we start with with an average ranking of 3.5, and with our last game, Cat Hotel, which released 2 months ago, we have an average rating of 4.5, because we now understand what they like to have. So let me summarize everything. What are the lessons learned? First of all, be focused, be specialized. Think about the shotgun and the sniper rifle. It is totally okay that there are people playing your game outside your target group, but please focus on that. Spend your money exactly on that people. Targeting means not excluding. When you make a game for females from 18 to 25, it's totally okay if kids play your game. Choose your target audience. That means when you're not satisfied with all your KPIs and you see, okay, there is another thing which is more important for me in that game. Maybe it's the brand awareness, or you just like to generate more followers. It could be a change of mind. But my recommendation is target the paying users. And last but not least, don't leave your niche to survive among the big players. Remember our example. We start with a PC game which was just for kids, and no one of you would even buy that game in a store. But when you see this game on the App Store, just the icon, the marketing screens, you maybe recommend it to your girlfriend or play it by yourself because you say, hey, I like cats, I like animals, and it's for free. Why not trying out that? And then it comes to the game, and we have to convince you, for sure. And now nearly everyone is playing that game, and our paying users, 18 to 25. Are there questions?
I actually have a question for
Yeah.
you. So you're talking about retargeting existing IP to mobile or new IP. What was the difference between what you've originally created for PC and what you finally pushed out on mobile?
Yeah, when you think about PC, it's always a premium game, a thing which is done when the players start to begin that. There are no in-app purchases, there's no really long tail, it's totally equal if it buys the game, spends 1 hour, 2 hours, and then throw it away. So we more and more concentrate on mechanics, which makes it more complex, more social for the player, that they stay into the game, talk about that game. I guess this is something which is totally necessary for all games in mobile, to have it viral. And yeah, make it even interesting for people who are not like to pay for that game. And you can monetize it, as I said, even with ads or rewarded videos, and you can make it not disturbing. Like we just implemented in Cat Hotel rewarding videos where you get a benefit. You make a quest, you get 100 coins, for example, and you can watch a video to get more. So the player has the choice to do it, and this is totally okay with an adults, and even with a teenagers audience.
Thank you. You think as a PC publisher moving into mobile,
Yeah.
are you cannibalizing on your PC sales when you push out a mobile title?
No, totally not. We see that we use most of our former customers, and they are very happy to now play on the new devices. To our 20th birthday, we, for example, port our first game, which was Max and the Secret Formula from PC to tablet, and we got a lot of support mails that they are happy that they now can play the game which they played in their childhood. So, yeah, we use the same customers, but there are a lot of new customers for sure.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.